You have to drink a lot of water. It's because it gets pretty hot out there.
Yeah, it's wildness. Hello and welcome. We got Credit Leverage X, Gino, and myself ready to break some knowledge down for you guys. So if you guys are watching this out there, be sure to give us a like, put a comment. The algorithm for the algorithm daddy in the sky, basically, put some comments, some fire emojis, whatever you got going on, because we're going to be teaching you how to structure your business correctly today. Your businesses correctly, and it's really high level stuff if you really think about it. But this is what like the Rockefellers do, all the big multi-billionaires and companies and things like out there, like not companies, but families, right? This is like to keep you and your family's money safe for generations, right? There's certain things that you need to do. And, a lot of people are, scraping by just to get money for food. But if you actually start to implement some of this stuff that we teach you, like in the long run, you're going to be way better off, right? Your kids are going to be better off. Your family's going to be better off. Gino just did a whole bunch of stuff for life insurance too. So, I mean, Gino, when you think about structuring like your family's empire or like your basically your LLCs, your businesses, your holding companies, like how do you like to do it, and kind of like what made you want to do it, and then what are you doing, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was more of a like awakening to see all these like different ways of structuring a business and understanding how you can access money, through businesses. But to go even further back, you have to, I didn't know anything about trusts or how to structure trusts and how to get, create your own finances and be able to be like self sufficient. So now
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing was about my whole thing was like, okay, I wanted to become self sufficient, but not only in the sense of like becoming having my own business or doing my own operations. It was more about like not having to borrow money even from the banks.
Right.
So, I was borrowing money from the banks, which was cool, but a lot of people can't even do that, right? They can't even get funding. But I was already doing that. So then I was like, well, how do I make it where I don't even have to use the bank's money, because I already built enough equity in businesses and also properties and just overall estate. I was able to have enough access to money that I could, basically create my own bank.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the biggest eye opener. And then I just went, full head, and I'm in the process of getting all that set up. But the main thing is realizing the structure of the trust and how the trust basically owns everything, but you don't own anything. So you
Yeah.
basically you're just the trustee, director, I guess if you want to call it. You just tell the trust what to do, and then there's even companies out there that they, because the guy I'm working with, the attorney I'm working with, they have companies that, if I'm not around, my wife is not around, there's companies that will continue to run as like a board of directors type of thing, where you basically manage their trust, and all
Wow.
the taxes get paid for everything. So it's just like it becomes like this high level like capital business, basically a
Mm-hmm.
hedge fund. It becomes a
Yeah.
hedge fund, and essentially your family becomes a hedge fund, and these hedge funds essentially started with money that was built on real estate and unfortunately people's deaths. So as people
Mm-hmm.
have died over the years in the family, that those death benefits paid back into the trust, and that
Right.
continued to grow. So imagine how many, hundreds and hundreds of basically families, kind of like lineages have been passing on as these families have grown to the trillions.
Yeah.
And this is where you have to start your own bank, and not
Mm.
don't even call it a bank. It's more like an estate. You just
Yeah.
set up your own estate, and you're self sufficient. Your kids never have to go to a bank to get money. They just go to their own bank. They go to their own like trust. They go. These are trust fund but babies. If you I'm sure you heard of. So in order to create a trust fund, you have to be able to have money, and then you're able to
Mm-hmm.
leverage that money and start building kind of like a overall structure where your businesses, it starts with a trust, and then you have to have a holding company. The holding company basically uh, owns everything but doesn't do anything. So that's the first level is the trust. Then you have the holding company. The holding company just owns everything but doesn't do anything. Then you have your LLCs right below the holding company, and the LLCs are the ones that are doing all the operational stuff. And I
Right.
got a rule of thumb recently. A rule of thumb that was told to me was that an LLC, if it's a property, if it's you can put multiple LLCs multiple properties in LLC, but you would need to have up to $1 million. So let's say if you open up LLC, you have to have that LLC at least operating or generating or at least owning up to $1 million worth of assets. If it doesn't own that kind of money, then you don't open up a new LLC. So until you can make that LLC $1 million company or $1 million asset, then you don't open up an LLC, that kind of concept. So basically, if your properties are worth $1 million, you would have multiple LLCs for one LLC per property.
Right.
Rather than having, the way I was doing it before was having one LLC and having like 5 properties under it. But now, to protect me and my assets and the trust long term, you open up a separate LLC per property.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
So
And
it's a fire.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just how you keep it safe. And then if something happens at that house or somebody sues that LLC, they basically can only sue the house or whatever, right? And it has like
Just the one
it's
LLC.
it's protected. That's crazy. And then you also have a life insurance. How does a trust and like a life insurance, do they do anything together or are they totally separate basically?
No, they're actually the trust owns the life insurance.
That's
So
wild. Yeah.
everything is owned by the trust. The trust owns the holding company. The trust owns everything, but the trust owns everything. But basically, you don't own anything.
Yeah.
Nothing is under your name. You basically become the person that just oversees the process, and then you
Right.
have to assign someone. If you were to die, who is going to be that person that's going to oversee the process, right? All the businesses, your entire estate.
Right.
You have to assign that early, so there's two kind of trust. There's a irrevocable trust and a revocable trust. So irrevocable is you have to have a court order in order to change the trust. You don't usually do those unless you're dying, and you don't want anybody to change it, or it would be converted into irrevocable trust at the end of death.
Yeah.
And basically, but the beginning of your life, you would want a revocable trust. So that way you can modify it and change it as needed, and you're able to make those adjustments as you require. But the main thing is having the ability to have life insurances for every family member in your life, opening up life insurance for them, and basically while they're alive, you have them access money that they basically have in their banks. Instead of keeping it in the banks, put it into a life insurance, and you can take life money against the life insurance while they're alive. So that way
Nice.
they're able to enjoy their life and live off that potentially if they're during retirement. But the beautiful part about it is, even if you take a loan, the value of the life insurance does not depreciate, and it grows
Oh, really?
taxless.
No.
So it's just like a continuous like compound interest per person. So how many businesses do you want, or how many life insurances do you open? It's almost like you're like, well, I'm opening up a business, because essentially you're basically putting money into it, and that business grows just like a stock market, right? So if you're putting money into stocks, you can open up multiple life insurances. You can have essentially those accounts or those individuals grow an asset wise, and then you're able to take loans against those individuals, or they can take a loan against themselves through the life insurance. But you're still the guarantee. I mean, if you're the one that's paying for it, whoever's paying for it basically has access to the money. So
Yeah.
if you're the trust that owns it, the trust can own life insurance for everybody in my family. It can own life insurance for you, as long as you are willing to do so. I can put money into your life insurance, and that will cover you for your death and during your life. And we can use that money that we put into it against it. We can take money against it, but then you would have this, beautiful life insurance that you didn't have to pay for at all. So it's a very interesting concept. But the more I get into it, I'm realizing that this is like unlimited potential, and that's why
Yeah.
the banks do it. The biggest thing is why the setup that I told you guys, the trust and the holding company and the LLCs. That's the way you want to have it for any kind of family estate. But as far as the banks are not insured other than the FDIC. They insure themselves. How? Through life insurance.
Oh,
They
wow.
insure themselves through life insurance. So they put the money into life insurance. They take your money and put that into life insurance, and then they cover themselves. So when you die, they have access to money.
Hmm.
Even though you need to sign up for life insurance, they have their own like coverage, basically whole life insurance that they pay into, that you never signed up for, but they basically automatically qualify you. They
Hmm.
automatically get life insurance for those individuals, and the money that you're depositing into the account, they're able to get life insurance to cover themselves. And that life insurance is considered whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's calling us right now. They want to fucking buy our deal so they can get some life insurance.
The life insurance is another very, I don't think, there's more to it. I'm still learning, but I
Yeah.
know that there's a lot of things that are there that can definitely benefit the community here, and then that they were able to start creating that for themselves. Now,
Yeah, just thinking big picture is pretty powerful stuff. Like
oh
that's
yeah,
a crazy
it's
like
like anybody.
monster.
And honestly, you can, and I trust the trust doesn't discriminate if it's family or a friend or a relative or what. At the end of the day, I can open up life insurances for anyone as long as I
Wow.
have enough money to pay for it. So as long as
Hmm.
I know to pay for it and I'm able to put the money in there, so they, putting money in life insurance, it's like hiding money because it's taxless. It becomes like
Yeah.
a taxless tax. So at the end of you, whenever you take the money out, it's a loan. Remember, anytime you take a loan, it's never
Hmm.
taxed. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
so that's the beautiful part. You just have to learn the system. The system is very clear. You put your money in an asset, you take a loan against it. You use the money to invest. You put the money in an asset, take a loan against it, use the money to invest. Instead of doing just real estate, you can do this on life insurance. And that's how you grow your estate. And it's a very powerful thing. And I'm excited to learn more about it. But I'm also realizing that, you need a lot of money to start, doing this.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
what I
need
was
to
gonna
be,
ask. Like, how much do you have to put into the initial life
no,
insurance?
you can start with like 12,000,
Oh, cool.
as low as 12,000 basically. But
Hmm.
if you want to, with this kind of life insurance, it's more like a cash value, so you have to put more money in. So, but you're better off putting more money in now instead
Hmm.
of waiting for it to grow. Because the way that life insurance is, they set it up depending on whether you want like a high death benefit or you
Hmm.
want a low death benefit but high cash value. So you want more cash value because you want to be able to access the money during your life. So you
Yeah.
basically put money into it, up to like 50 to 100 grand. You can do up to 250,000 as far as I know. But basically you initial deposit, and then what you're able to do is you're able to take money within 30 days against it and pay yourself interest. So it's a very, very powerful thing when you think about it, that you don't have to pay.
Within 30 days, you can get the money like loaned to yourself
You
back
can
out.
get about up to 85%. I believe I was told. I can get up to
Wow.
85% of my money. So that means I put in money that's invested, and I'm able to take about 85% against it, and I'm able to pay
And it's tax free. That
tax
okay,
free.
that's why it's real powerful. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very powerful, and
Damn.
it's very clear that if you're able to put the money into an investment and then you're able to take loan against it, you're able to go ahead and use that money to, let's say, buy a car or buy another real estate property.
Yeah.
And then you just use that money that you had already. It's the same money. It's the same money. You're just moving money around. It just you use the same money multiple times. You have to learn how to use your money multiple times instead of just
Right.
using it once. You can buy a real estate property like I did before, but now I'm going to be buying life insurance before I buy real estate property. So I'm gonna put money into a life insurance, take a loan against it, buy a real estate property, and then I'll have both. And now you're just becoming like, besides the real estate growing, your life insurance is going to be growing. So it's like,
Mm,
and obviously there's a process. You have to go get a medical exam. You have to qualify physically, and there's a debt benefit to attached to life. Even if it's zero, they still need to do certain things. And then usually the life insurance is not zero because there's cash value associated to it.
yeah.
So you will still get whatever you're putting in, basically, uh,
Hmm.
essentially. But the cool thing is, the money goes to the trust.
Right.
So you don't you when at the end of life, your the money ends up going to the trust, or during the life you can pull money against it and use it, but that money doesn't go away. Meaning, if the at the end of life, the life insurance basically pays out whatever is in the account, either it's cash value, or it's either one. It's either the cash value is worth more, you get the cash value. If whatever is more, or you get the death benefit. Usually, cash value, you'll have more cash in there because you're using it for like a bank. You'll have a big fat check back to trust. Otherwise, if you're paying for life insurance for the death benefit purposes, like I'm going to be doing most likely for my parents, those are more important because you want to be able to get them a high death benefit because they got maybe 20, 30 years to live. and that's, you're closer to that period where it's they might not qualify for a good cash value policy.
Right. Like I wish I would have probably started one a lot earlier for, for my parents. Like, so if you're listening out there, you got young parents, go put some life insurance on them, right?
Yeah.
Start paying into that thing, because then
Yeah,
you'll be better off anyways.
I mean, this is the people that we know, that the elite, right? The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. These guys, they know how to move money. But the best thing that they did was they learned how to where to put their money. So
Yeah.
putting the money in the bank is not what it thinks, like what you think it is. Having a money in a bank is a private entity. They are
Yeah.
a private entity. They are for-profit business. They're a for-profit. They make money. They make money off your money. So they want to give you a loan, right? That's why
Right.
funding works. Like, funding wouldn't exist if the banks didn't find it profitable.
Yeah.
They make money no matter what. Okay. So at the end of the day, it's nice for us to get access to their money, but the fact is that they're able to grow their entire portfolio just on life insurance alone, and use our money that we deposit into the bank. Is a great system to use other people's money, right?
Right.
You put money in the bank, the money gets put into a life insurance, and that money that's in the bank is essentially fractionalized banking, and they use that system as a private entity to profit from. So they lend money. They'll give you, they have maybe $5 in the bank, but they'll give you like $500, and then that $500 is a loan with interest. So they don't even have the money, and then at the same time they just give you interest on top of that. So they're making money out of nothing. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't really have the money. They're giving you the reason they developed a credit card. The whole point was to kind of give you the opportunity to use money that they didn't have. So fractional banking, that's long term. But but they knew where to put their money. And the most important is put your money not in a bank, but in a life insurance, because the life insurance, at least, and a good life insurance. Obviously, there's the small life insurance. Make sure they have good volume. They have over $1 billion worth of assets, or they're a strong life insurance. That way, they're not sitting on they're not sitting thin. There should be most of these life insurances are bigger than banks. So
Wow. I didn't know
got
that.
more.
Well, I guess that's because that's where all the rich people put all their money.
So that's where all the
That's how
people
they
put
get
their
bigger.
money. Yeah, they put it all.
That's
Or
some
they put
next
it in
level shit.
international banks. They'll put it in the Switzerland bank or something.
Yeah.
They'll do that. But then again, a bank is not like, now I'm thinking like, I don't want my money in the bank, so I want my money in a life insurance instead of a bank, because I can't take a loan against it.
Yeah, for real.
Right. So it's like I can take a loan against the money in my. But right now, if I went to the Bank of America and I had, let's say, 200 grand in my bank, and I said, hey, Mr. Bank of America, I want to get 200 grand. They're gonna be like, well, let's look at your income and see how much money you're making. I'm like, what?
Right.
That's my money.
Like, I have 200 grand at the bank, but you can't give me a loan.
You can't give me a loan, so no, they won't do that. But when you go to a life insurance, you're like, oh, here's my money. Give me a loan against it. You guys keep my money, right? It's like pawn shop. Keep my stuff. You guys hold my money. I will pay it back with interest. And they're like, oh,
Right.
sounds good, And then they're like, well, we're not going to take a negative on that, because they're taking fees. Obviously, life insurance has fees, right? It's not
Right.
free, but I'd rather pay those fees knowing that I could take a loan against it, and the fact that it's growing while it's in there, regardless of what I'm doing with the money. That's the power. That's the power of leverage. I'm talking about leverage on a high level. High level leverage, leveraging your own money twice.
Yeah.
Besides, and not only using your money, not only having businesses make money for you, you can start leveraging the money that you bring in. Don't leave it in the bank. Take your money out of the bank, put it into a life insurance, and then use the life insurance like a bank. And that's how the rich get richer.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, my mind is blown. You think we should just cap it on that? Like fucking, because I think the next one we could talk more about.
This is fire. I mean, this is the stuff that that I think, and this is like right off the press for me. So you guys are getting hot.
What the rich do with their money, that they don't tell anybody about.
I'm just trying to do the right thing and learn this and be able to do it for myself and my family, but also share it with everybody, so that way everybody can take advantage of this opportunity that that everybody can do. It's not like it's only for the exclusive. As long as you have some money in the bank and you want to use that money and not spend it, well, that's a perfect way to do it. Instead of trying to get a loan from the bank, like what we're usually used to doing, putting money in the bank, trying to get a loan, which is still good, but it's just harder to get those loans because they check, income, they check other information. Obviously, they check, they want to make sure your business is structured right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, It's like these life insurance doesn't care. It's your money. It's in there, and you can take a loan against it. They don't care. They're not trying to give you other money. But obviously, if you're putting $500 in the bank and you're asking the bank for like 20 grand, they're gonna check everything, right? It makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 in the bank, you would think they will give you a loan without a problem. But no, that's not. They'll still run you through the ringer and check everything and make sure you're in line. They don't like your business entity. They don't like what you're doing business in. They won't give you a loan.
Right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Life insurance, though. That seems like the niche, because I love the idea of putting all your money into a life insurance, then getting it back, buying a bunch of properties with it, and then you have the properties pay off the interest for the life insurance. Do you know what the interest is on life insurance?
You determine the interest.
Oh, like, really?
I think the minimum is like 3% or something. I think there's minimum. I would want to put more, right? Because I'm paying. I'm gonna pay 6%. Well, now it's like it's not about I don't want to pay. When you go to a car dealership, hey, I want to pay less interest. No, it's like I want to pay more interest because it's going to me.
Oh, yeah.
The money's going. I want to, like, I did that for my 401k. I bought 2 properties using my 401k. But how did I do it? I didn't just take money out of my 401k. My 401k is still pretty strong. I got a few $100,000 in there, just growing. But at the end of the day, like, I was able to take a loan against it and buy real estate. And I paid all that back with interest. So that way, actually, I'm still paying one of them back because I did it for like 10 years. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I'll pay it off eventually. I already got the house.
Right.
I'm cash flowing, and I haven't even paid my down payment yet.
Yeah. That's powerful shit right there.
It's like crazy. Cash flow, pay later, delay payment, right? So, but if I can do that on a life insurance kind of situation where we might be opening up life insurances, soon. I don't know, but the play is there, the knowledge is there. I'm gonna be able to teach others to do it, and also we're gonna be able to take that information and apply it for our current business opportunities that we're doing, and also be able to use that in like real estate, like you just mentioned, use that to open up new businesses. Why not put money in a life insurance before you open up a business?
Yeah, and then basically loan it against yourself and then fucking make the business. That's pretty cool.
Make the business, make money, pay off the life insurance. Your life insurance is growing. You can go do that again. Open up another one and open up another one.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's powerful. It's very powerful. You just have to know how to use your money, correctly. And we can teach you that here in Credit Leverage X. That's what this is about. It's about a community of knowledge and
become your own bank.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be, and anybody seeing this, they'll be blown away. So, I rest my case.
Yeah, I think that's all I got for today. I mean, that was some fire. So we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out the links in our bio. Join our Facebook group if you're not part of it already. We have a lot of free value in there. But most importantly, hop on a call with us. We'd be happy to not only help you fix your credit, get maximum funding, but give you the consulting that you need to create generational wealth. That's what we're all about, and that's what this is all about. Gino's spitting hot fire out here. You got anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, peace.